One of the challenges in becoming an excellent bartender is learning about all the different products you have to work with every day. It's not that hard, and really interesting once you understand the basics. Just as a chef needs to understand their ingredients, so a bartender needs to understand all the products behind the bar. In this lesson, we are going to take a look at various items you will find in most bars. To make it easier, we are going to break up the alcoholic items into fermented and distilled drinks, and then finish off by looking at cocktails and soft drinks. In this lesson, you'll learn about fermentation and distillation, wine, beer, white spirits, aged spirits, and cocktails. Let's start with fermentation and distillation. What do most beverages in a bar have in common? Exactly, most of them contain alcohol. All the alcohol in your bar has come from the process of fermentation. Alcoholic fermentation consists of the chemical breakdown by yeasts of sugars into alcohol and carbon dioxide. And yes, yeast is the same stuff that makes bread rise. All you need to produce alcohol is a sugary liquid, yeast, and a little heat. People make alcoholic drinks by fermenting all sorts of products that have sugars in them. Fruits, grains, anything that has sugar that the yeasts can consume. Hundreds of years ago, people discovered that if you heated up an alcoholic beverage, the water would boil off before the alcohol, leaving you with a drink that has a higher concentration of alcohol. This is distillation. So, if you want a drink with a higher concentration of alcohol, you need to distill it. We can now break up the drinks in your bar into those that have only been fermented and those that have been distilled. Let's start with those that have only been fermented, starting with wine. Wine has been made for thousands of years and is basically fermented grape juice. Grapes are grown on vines, picked, squashed, and the juice is allowed to ferment. This juice is then filtered to make sure there are no pieces of grape left, and the final result is wine. White wines are made from white grapes, and red wines from red grapes. White wines are served chilled, and red wines a little warmer, at around 20 degrees Celsius. The exciting part about wine is there are many different types of grapes that can be used, allowing for many varying styles with a large range of flavors. Next, let's take a look at beer. Beer is the world's most widely consumed alcoholic beverage and is also made using fermentation. Beer is made by using the sugars from grains such as barley, wheat, or maize. To make beer, the sugars are taken from the grain and mixed up with water to form a sugary liquid. This liquid, called the wort, is fermented to make beer. Another ingredient that is often added before fermentation is hops. These are flowers from the hop plant that add bitterness and flavor to beer. There are a wide range of beer styles, from thick, dark, and creamy to light and fresh. Next, let's take a look at some of the products that have been made using distillation, starting with white spirits. White spirits are drinks with a high alcohol concentration from being distilled, but they have not been aged in barrels. We'll learn about barrels in a minute. White spirits are easy to spot in your bar. They are clear, strong spirits, such as gin and vodka. All of these spirits need a sugary liquid to ferment and then distill. Gin uses grains, white rum uses sugarcane, and vodka can use potatoes. The flavors a white spirit has will depend on what the original sugary liquid is made of, and if flavorings are added. For example, gin is made using grain, but juniper berries and other herbs are added to give it its characteristic aroma. The major characteristic of all spirits is their high concentration of alcohol, which means they are great for mixing with soft drinks or using in cocktails. Next, let's take a look at aged spirits. Aged spirits are made in the same way as white spirits, but are then aged in wooden barrels. This aging gives the spirits a golden color and adds flavors of spice and vanilla. Some spirits, such as rum and tequila, can either be unaged, white spirits, or aged spirits. Others, such as brandy, made from distilled wine, or whiskey, always spend some time in barrels. Normally, oak barrels are used. The longer the spirit spends in the barrel, the more flavor it will take on, and the deeper its color will become. Aged spirits are generally rounder and richer than white spirits, and are more likely to be drunk neat over ice, or with a drop of water. And finally, let's look at cocktails. Cocktails are the combination of different types of drinks that you will find behind your bar into a single drink. They can be as simple as a Cuba Libre, which is as simple as white rum with cola and a slice of lime, or very complicated with many techniques and ingredients you will need to master before you can make it. Cocktails also make use of the non-alcoholic items you have behind your bar, such as sodas, fruit juices, and cordials. To be able to make great cocktails, you need to master your ingredients, which means learning a lot more about all of these products. Well done on learning the very basics about fermentation and distillation, wine, beer, white spirits, aged spirits, and cocktails. Each one of the products we have mentioned has many different brands and styles within it. It is the lifelong pursuit of knowledge that makes an excellent bar person. You will never run out of new drinks to taste and learn about, and then work out how to best combine them to make tasty cocktails.